from the MMB Radio studios. It's your boy Mixmaster B here live for the MMB Radio podcast, where no topic is too big or too small. And on the phone lines right now, I have a gentleman who you may know from I Am Santa Claus and Community, all kinds of different documentary films, South Jersey native. He is now the producer of the upcoming documentary film Ghostheads. Tommy Avallone, how are you?
Hey, man, yeah. No, I made community college. I wasn't in the TV show Community.
My bad. Community college, yes.
Yes.
But you could find you out and about in the community, which is really cool because that's one of the cool things is that like you are from South Jersey, and we've talked about this the last time you've been on the podcast, and it's really cool that you've been doing all these different films and documentary-type films for a while now, and you have this new one coming up called Ghostheads. And kind of give us a brief synopsis of what Ghostheads is.
Well, it's a documentary about the Ghostbusters fandom. You know, these people who make their own proton packs and build their own ecto vehicles. And people will buy certain Cadillacs and turn them into the ectos from the movie. There's a love of the movie so much so that they buy these jumpsuits and they make their own identity in the Ghostbusters world, and they go to children's hospitals for charity and different events to just have a good time. It's a love for the movie that builds bonds and builds friendships and does good things with it. It's the geek for good. So we followed around a bunch of different Ghostbuster groups. There's Ghostbuster groups all around the world, and they have these what they call franchises. Ghostbusters in New Jersey, New York City Ghostbusters. There's Ghostbusters in Italy, Mexico. They're everywhere, and it's all because of the love of the movie. So we follow that.
Now, you grew up around the time that the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 came out. Did you have obviously a strong interest in the Ghostbusters franchise to want to do something like this?
Yeah, I mean, I love Ghostbusters. I have a Ghostbusters tattoo. But I was researching people who dress like Ghostbusters, like cosplay stuff, for a different project. And I came across this movie that was being made called Ghostheads. And I thought it was interesting because in the documentary I directed, I Am Santa Claus, we didn't follow around. Our movie wasn't about Santa. It was about the people who dressed as Santa. And I always think that stuff's important. It's never the subject. It's the person who's obsessed with the subject that I find interesting. So when I saw that there was a movie about people who love Ghostbusters and the movie was following them around, I thought this is something I could be a part of and help, because it's a lot like Santa in that it's the love that drives this person to do something. And I knew how to help tell that story.
Now, you also have cameos from the actors from the original Ghostbuster movies, correct?
Yeah, we were lucky enough to interview Ivan Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, the new director, Paul Feig, from the new Ghostbusters movie, Kurt Fuller from Ghostbusters 2, William Atherton from Ghostbusters, and also Die Hard, which is amazing. Dave Coulier did the voice of Peter Venkman in the cartoon. We interviewed him. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. And Zack Ryder, who's a huge Ghostbusters fan. We have to put a wrestler in every single one of our movies. Nick Foley was in Santa Claus. Zack Ryder is in Ghostheads.
So you interview these guys, and when you first approached them, about this project, are they kind of annoyed to always be labeled, the Ghostbusters thing, is kind of like what they're known for? I mean, you have people like Dan Aykroyd, who's done a lot of other things, and a lot of the actors done other projects, but you think of their name, the first thing you think of is Ghostbusters. Is that something you ask them, how do they feel about being Ghostbuster people for their whole entire lives?
No, it's actually quite different. They reached out to us. Ivan Reitman's company thought they saw our project and thought this was something that they wanted to embrace because they love their fans so much. Ivan Reitman's done so many other different projects. Dan Aykroyd's done so many other different projects, but at the end of the day, Ghostbusters is huge. There's so many people who've played Batman or Superman and all these different heroes, but these are one of the few and only Ghostbusters. Yeah, there's a new cast coming out, but it's something that's ingrained in the culture. So they're all very proud of being a part of that.
Now, without giving away too much of the movie before it comes out, what is something that one of these people that you've interviewed, one of these cosplayers or these people who live the Ghostbusters life, because the Ghostbusters life chose them, they didn't choose the Ghostbuster life. No, what is something that surprised you or shocked you when they were like, "Oh, this is what I do," and you're just like, "Wow, I really did not expect this guy to have this or do this."
Well, I mean, just being inside of an ecto for the first time and putting on a proton pack was pretty intense, you know. But one of Tom Gebhardt from New Jersey Ghostbusters, he turned 30 and just drove him and his buddy up to the firehouse in Tribeca to just hang out there for like 3 hours, you know, dressed as Ghostbusters with his own ecto, and just hung out outside of the fire hall, and people were coming up to them and just taking pictures. You know, that's how he celebrated 30. So it's just an interesting life when you're that much in love with something, you know?
Now, have they ever disclosed about how much money they've put into building these, you know, these ectos and these packs, and how much money goes into something like that?
They never really like to say, and it's never like a lump sum. It's usually like through time, you know. Like, but there's some money that goes into it.
Yeah,
I mean, the proton packs alone are up to $2,000. I mean, if you're willing, you can go to ghostheadsmovie.com and get your own proton pack for a $2,000 perk on our Kickstarter.
That's a nice segue. I was going to mention you guys have the Kickstarter page where fans can actually help play a part in cinema history here and make different donations to help further along the project. And what are some of the things that they can get from this? I know they can be in the credits, but like you said, they can also have, you know, the pack. And I recently saw they're doing the movie premiere for Ghostbusters 3. That was one of the
well, it's called Ghostbusters, but Sony was very, very generous and gave us 2 pairs of world premiere tickets in New York City. So for $5,000, you can get 2 tickets to this world premiere, which is a lot of money, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to walk the red carpet with Dan Aykroyd, Ivan Reitman, and Paul Feig, and all these people who are in the movie and support the movie in New York, and the official world premiere of it, which is fantastic. And for a lesser cost, there's, you know, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man signed by Ivan Reitman, Ernie Hudson signed pop figures, Dan Aykroyd signatures, Sigourney Weaver signatures. There's a lot of like special autographs. There's proton packs for sale, and we also have a hellhound head. You know, like whenever you would see like a hunter kill a deer and they put the head of the deer in their office, we have the hellhound head, which is the, you know, what Dana Barrett and Louis Tully turned into in Ghostbusters. You could have that, and it's huge. It's pretty awesome.
Now, when is the projected date or time frame for this to be released?
Our movie will come out in July. It's going to accompany the new Ghostbusters reboot. Our Kickstarter ends March 12th.
Okay. So you got roughly, you know, like 9 days to get in there and use your tax returns to play a part in movie history. And this is going to be available for like download and DVD, because I know you've had the other documentaries on DVD at places like Walmart and Amazon. And are you going to continue to do that too, or is this going to be exclusively like a download thing?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to, depending on where and how the movie gets sold, but I mean, it's definitely going to be on some sort of streaming service, on some sort of DVD, and some sort of digital download. You know, it will be accessible to people. And we're on our Kickstarter, have the DVDs and the digital downloads set so you can get it, you know, when the movie actually comes out.
Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because like I said, there's a lot of Ghostbuster fans out there. What is the one thing from Ghostbusters that really just excited you? That you like? What's your favorite part about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I don't know. I always liked it as a kid, you know, and like, I guess it's all revisionist history, but like, I feel like I must have watched the cartoon first and then saw the movie, because I was born in '82. The movie came out in '84. There's no way I'm watching that 2 years old. So I'm thinking the cartoon came out in '86. That sounds about right, that I would start watching it around 4. But I don't know what was about it, but I just like the proton packs, love the toys. It was always a cool thing. And then when the movie, like, it's always been my favorite movie, and when it got re-released, I want to say the 25th year anniversary, and watching the theaters again, you forget the movie's really, really funny. Like that sequence with Bill Murray and the cards where he's talking to Jennifer Roman and Steve Tash, like these people who are trying to figure out what's on the back of the card, and he keeps zapping the guy. Like, it's hilarious. And when Bill Murray pulls the I guess sheet from under the one table and says the flowers are still standing, I think it's hilarious.
Well, one of the things I always liked, and I'm probably around the same time frame as you, and I can't remember if, I was watching a cartoon first and then the movie, or, just watched the movie and then fell back and watched the cartoon, but whatever the case may be, one of the things I always loved, and the rumors are going around they're going to re-release, is the Ecto Cooler Hi-C drink. Like, that was always something that... Yeah,
they're bringing that out, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of my things from Ghostbusters. I had this mild obsession with Slimer, so I think every kid liked Slimer, back in the day. Let everybody know where they can find the Kickstart page and on Twitter, because I know you guys have a Twitter account, and there's all kinds of ways to access information about it.
Yeah, the website's ghostheadsmovie.com, and we're at Ghostheads Movie. I think what's great, it's Dan Wallace wrote the ultimate film book for the Ghostbusters movie, and he was introduced to Ghostheads for the first time by writing this movie, and he says something that we really took home and we thought was really interesting. It was that when he first met Ghostheads, he didn't see that Venkman or Stans was at all written on their name tag, on their flight suit. They had their own name. They had Gebhardt. They had whatever the Avallone or whatever it was on their flight suit, and it's that these people can make their own identities in this world that already exists. If you're dressing up as Batman, you're Batman. If you're dressing up as Superman, you're Superman. But you can be a part of the team in Ghostbusters. You can be a part of this organization, and I think that's what's so inviting about Ghostbusters. Is it's a community where you can be yourself in this amazing universe. And I think that's why a lot of people connect, and that's really what our movie's about, is the bonds and the friendships and the community that is Ghostbusters, because you can find yourself in it.
Well, we're really excited about seeing it. If it's anything like any of your past documentary films, it's going to be interesting, and hopefully it opens up some eyes to people that are like, wow, there are dedicated fans out there who really enjoy this. And that's a good point that you made, because you don't really stop and think about it. It's like, yeah, you see people at Comic-Cons and these different event shows, and you can be a character. But this here, you get to be a character within a franchise and kind of build your own identity from that, which is really cool. So we really appreciate you talking to us, and we hope to see this real soon. People, make sure you go out to the Kickstart page and spend all your money and donations to it, because there's some really cool things on there. And you can see your name in the credits. And like I said, it's a really honor to have you on, and much success to you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Take care.
Hey, it's Tommy Avallone, producer of the movie Ghostheads. You're listening to Mix Master B on MMB Radio.